clockwork. It is that time of day, or actually now that the sun goes down so quickly, pretty much that time of nearly night to go throw some weight around and enjoy the process of doing so. One thing that was kind of getting to me, well, maybe not getting to me, but like, well, I'll just kind of describe what I was going at, or what I was looking at. Why would you want to go to the gym? All you're doing is lifting circles up and down. Why? It's so repetitive. Why would you do that? Which, I mean, you just don't get it. If you're not into it, you just don't get it. At least when I hear people ripping on just like being a lifter, if there's an actual dude who's like doing jujitsu or something, or like sports or whatever, or like they've got some kind of thing, right? What do you think my thing is? Getting pumps, is building muscle, right? But if your thing is like freaking jujitsu or wrestling or whatever else, cycling or just something, if you have a thing like that, then if you rip on somebody else's thing, you're just breaking balls and it's all fun. But dudes who just have never been to the gym, they've never gotten into it, and then rather than just maybe having like potentially an open mind and just being like, yeah, I don't know, it's not my thing, just to rip on it, yeesh, what a fucking chump. But, who knows? Eventually, everybody probably gets into the gym in one way or another. So, I say the sooner you can get into it, the better. And then later on, you're going to be like, fuck, I can't believe I thought this was stupid back then. Holy crap. I feel like that. When I was in like 3rd grade or something, I made fun of a kid for like a Naruto. He was ahead of the game. I had no idea. I didn't come to that realization until much later. Until much freaking later in life. But enough of this chat about people liking lifting or not or whatever else. We like it. And we know we like it. So plan for tonight is going to be the same as the last arm day and probably the same as the one before that as well. Tries followed by buys in a way which is going to inflate them. Ideally an extra inch in circumference. Probably not though. I never get that pumped. Usually going from unpumped to pumped, my arms will kind of go up maybe a half inch. That's probably approaching the max for me. I'm not sure how that would change if you've got like 15-inch arms or if you got like, yeah, I guess as you get bigger, the pump differential will also increase. So if I've got 24-inch guns, I bet pumped they might get up to 25. Not that I'm even close to there yet. We're still trying to break the 20-inch barrier. But just give me time. Just give me freaking time to do my curls and eat my food, and they'll get there. So, push downs. I've been liking starting triceps off lighter. Rather than like trying to totally push a nuts amount of weight. Instead of making the first set stack with like 3 plates on the side of it, doing push downs, I've kind of been liking doing like, the lighter cross body extensions. Or, I mean, rope would be good too. I think it's just because when my triceps get really pumped, if I'm towards the end of my tricep day, or tricep lift, the portion or whatever, it just gets tricky for me to really squeeze. Like I can still flex them, but I don't think I can contract as hard as when they're cold. So I think that's why I like doing lighter squeezing movements in the beginning when I'm unpumped, because it really lets me squeeze like super fucking hard. And then once I'm a little bit more fatigued, I'll move into just like a normal straight bar or dip machine or whatever else. But I think after tries are done, then buys is even simpler. Just a variety of curls. I kind of have habits which I follow. I'm trying to break one a little bit where I usually start off with really heavy curls. So I'm trying to maybe start off buys the same as tries with lighter squeezing sets first. But I don't know, man. With chest, I want to start off with heavy pressing and then do my flies. With hamstrings, hamstrings is pretty basic too, not really the best analogy. But with buys, really I just kind of want to do whatever. I mean, it was a curl. So some days I like starting off with like a machine preacher or like a curl machine seated. Some days I want to start off with normal heavy dumbbell curls, or maybe I want to start off with straight bar cable curls. It's just a curl's a curl. If I do 6 sets of a variety of movements, maybe I do 6 totally different kinds of curls. Let's say I do a set of dumbbell alternating standing, and then a set of preachers, and then a set of barbell curls, and then a set of cable curls. I'm waiting for the caffeine to hit me. But if I were to do 6 sets of just one kind of curl after another, after another, after another, I'd still be satisfied with that lift, because every movement is still targeting my biceps. I don't think weight is necessarily the factor that you want to push the hardest with bis. You're not going to catch me trying to do like a 225 cheek curl. I guess I might not be the best guy to say that, because I always try to curl really heavy dumbbells when I'm fresh. But I pretty much feel like I get most of the, let's just call it the effective sets, in like the 15-ish rep range. So if I do a weight which I can get 15 legit reps, maybe get a little bit of partials out at the end of those, that's kind of about what I like. I'm definitely not going to get caught doing like a 6-rep set of curls. I think that's going to be a weight which would, let's just say, induce fear for my well-being. No need to overload that much. But I'm in a little bit of a rush, so let's just get in there and get started. No time for too much yapping and chit-chatting. All right, arms. That's a good-ass arm day. I really freaking enjoyed that. Tries was good. The tricep pump was pretty much as good as I could ask for. But today, biceps kind of stole the show. They were my star pupil. They were just in the zone. Sometimes for just factors you can't even control, let's just call it X factors, you might just have a better pump one day on some muscle group than you do the other. Let's say you're doing legs and maybe hamstrings is whatever, it's a normal lift for you, good pump. But then you get to quads and like for some reason everything's just clicking. That is the way to do it. Now, that's not just a completely random thing, right? The more responsible you are outside of the gym in relation to your performance in the gym, the more likely you're going to have those lifts where they almost just feel seamless, right? Sure, the sets are hard, of course, and doing a hard set is like physically uncomfortable. But when you're really in the zone, it does not feel that way. If I was really out of it, if I was absolutely exhausted and dehydrated and underfed and just like, let's say I also had a headache too, maybe I was kind of sick, right? If I just felt like shit, then doing a hard set would probably just make me feel like trash. I'm like, oh God, I'm fucking tired. And I'd still do it just, out of obsessiveness, but it feels so much better when you're nice, well rested, well fed, well hydrated, and then you get into the gym and you're like, oh yeah, all of the pieces have been put into place to align, all the stars have been aligned to make this lift go smoothly and to give me an exceptional pump. Now, obviously you got your own life to deal with, so not everything is about the gym, but if that's your shit, if every day you do want a good lift, I think it's worth kind of making, for me, it doesn't even feel like sacrifices, but if you've got to kind of cut back on so-and-so, or staying up late gaming, or whatever else, so that you can get your meals down, make sure you got to carry a fucking jug of water around all the time with electrolytes. Do not just drink straight up water. Okay, that sounds kind of stupid, but drinking water with electrolyte mix added to it will do you much better than just straight up water, right? You're going to be fully satiated with electrolytes. You're going to feel better. I've done 1,000 electrolyte rants. I don't think we need to do one more right now. But, all this shit outside the gym just makes you feel better in the gym, which does make it seem like a bit of a hassle, a bit of a chore. To the uninitiated, bodybuilding seems like, well, I can't chicken and rice I can't do that in the gym for 4 hours a day. I don't want to. It does seem that way, and to an extent, if you do want legit results, you're going to have a much better chance if you do all of these, let's just call it, what's the word I'm trying to think of, whatever, outside of gym preparations to make sure your lifts are good, then it's kind of what you just got to do. And if for whatever reason in your brain results is your thing, you want to push it in the gym, you really want to make changes month, then that should just be what you want to do. And that's not everybody, right? Some dudes just want to go in, lift their weights, go hard, but then don't worry about diet. Don't worry about like taking their vitamins and their creatine and whatever else. They just don't want to deal with it. Which, fine, man, whatever. Fuck, dude, creatine's expensive, but I do think it's worth it. Why not try to maximize every vector of improved performance that you're willing to do if it's not that tricky, right? Primary ones: food, obviously track your protein, get your carbs in, electrolytes, hydration, make sure you get your sleep, take a men's multivitamin. I'm not saying you gotta have like 100 fucking bottles of vitamins and like swallow a bowl at once. Like, just get a fucking men's multivitamin and like 2 fish oils. You may not notice it. You're not gonna take your vitamins and go, oh my God, I've never felt better in my life. Holy shit. It's not gonna be like that. But it is good for you. There's a reason why your parents made you eat Flintstones as a kid. It's good for you, right? Come on, you need all this shit. Now, the argument, well, you should be getting all your micronutrients from your diet. You know what? You're right. That's probably the best case scenario. But whatever. I think that taking your vitamins is more than well enough. What's the word I'm trying to think of? It can more than well enough supplement a diet which maybe lacks all of your necessary calcium and magnesium or potassium. Now, that's not to say just take any fucking vitamin, right? You got to actually look up the most readily absorbable types, right? A lot of vitamins, you can't even really digest them unless you got some fats in your system. Or not fats, what am I trying to say? You can't absorb them, there we go. So it is worth a little bit of research. It's like magnesium creams and shit like that, whatever else. But whatever. If you know that doing something is going to help you in the gym, and it's something that you want to do, they go for it. And that's not me saying like try to find every Tongkat Ali, ashwagandha, whatever other root extract. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking to the dude who, well, I actually know a couple of guys. So I haven't been taking my creatine. I don't really like pre-workout. I don't have vitamins yet. I mean, come on, basic shit. Basic freaking shit. So I think that's enough on my hate rant. But any lifter worth their salt has a dedicated cabinet in the fucking kitchen full of all the pre-workout and vitamins and creatine and beta-alanine and whatever else. Aminos and protein. Those things are not just like stereotypical for lifters. They're done for a reason. Enough of that. So, good lift. I'm very hungry, which is a good sign too. I feel much better than I did last week. Dude, last week I felt like shit. It's fucking on a rebound out of sickness, combined with sleep deprivation from finals week, combined with like driving back and forth and moving myself in and out from school to home. Blech. None of those things were conducive with gains. But after a couple days of solid eating, drinking all my electrolytes, and a fuck ton of sleep, I feel very nice. The train has been re-railed on the tracks, and it's a non-stop ride, barring any random situation that could potentially mess with me eating my food, hitting the gym, or getting my rest. And I'm going to do everything in my power to ensure that none of those obstacles, for one thing, even occur, and then make sure I make best practice out of my response if anything like that does happen. It's been a little while since I talked about injuries, so I think I'll end this with a little injury talk. So let's say you got fucked up somehow. Being stupid, slipped and fall, you went too heavy on bench, you didn't warm up enough, you pulled something somewhere along the line, whatever. You're boned. And I'm not talking just like a tweak. If you tweak something, back off, let it heal up, do very light kind of rehabilitative work, and don't do anything that hurts. But if you're really hurt and you got to take some time off legit, this kind of reminds me of when I really pulled my chest like 2 years ago. Not like hospital level, but I was hurting. Like I couldn't even really flex it. It was kind of like a little intramuscular tear real deep in there. But something like that, where that targeted muscle, you cannot hit it. Or even let's say like you break a bone or something, you break your wrist. Obviously, knock on wood, because from lifting, we're totally invincible and impervious to injuries because we're freaks. But let's say the impossible happens. Do not stop lifting. Do not just go bedridden and chill out for 2 months while whatever you got to deal with recovers. That is the worst case fucking scenario. If I don't even want to say ifs, these if-then statements, because it's kind of giving me the heebie-jeebies, but I'll just say it out of necessity for the metaphor or for the situational reference. Let's say actually no, we can just, or not even a long time ago. Well, yeah, like, I don't know, like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I totally fucked up my knee. My left knee's cartilage. It was so like, I don't know how much you know about how your knee works, but like imagine this is your thigh bone, this is your femur, and this is your shin. These two things are supposed to rub up against each other real smooth like. But what had happened was just years of like impacts from I guess when I was doing gymnastics as a kid. A piece of the cartilage on the end of my fucking femur, that little smooth part of whatever else that's going on in my meniscus. I don't know all the fucking terms. It like busted off and like flipped around. So, dude, I was out. They had to cut into me and take that piece out. I ended up being fine, but whatever, that's beyond the point. But for a while, no freaking legs. I don't think I did leg extensions for like, I couldn't tell you how long, maybe 2-ish months or something, right? I was on crutches for a while. But am I gonna let that stop me from doing buys, from doing curls? No. Are you fucking nuts? Right? So instead of doing my squats and my legs, obviously chill out on legs, I'm doing seated chest press. I'm doing seated dip machine, seated curls, right? Working around it. Working around an injury is so much better than just taking 2 months off and getting yourself out of the groove. Because just from stopping lifting, from stopping this pretty serious stimulus to your body, your metabolism's going to crash. You're going to just slow down as an organism. And then it's going to take you that much longer to get back into it, So that's kind of what I'm saying there. So if any of you are like fucked up or something like that, you're in a boot, or you've got like a cast, I don't know. Not that I hope you are. I would never, ever hope you are, right? If you're watching this, then I want you to be in tip-top condition so you can get the gnarliest pumps possible. But if that's you, do not just start skipping out of the gym. Skip out on that particular muscle group, but hit everything else just as hard as you would, including food. Your body needs energy to heal, so why wouldn't you want to eat a fuck ton of food if you're fucking hurt? That's just kind of how I see it. So, oh yeah. So, this is my last sort of point there. Work around an injury. Do not work through it. That is a very important detail. So if my rotator cuff is kind of crunchy from doing a rep where maybe I flared my elbows out too much, I am not going to do any more reps and just think to myself, oh, it's fine, whatever. That is the absolute worst approach. Yeah, that's how you want to think about it. So, a little bit of a ramble, but if you got any good points out of that, then take it to heart. And if you didn't, then fuck it, whatever. Arm pump. Good freaking arm pump at least. So cardio in the morning, followed by calves, followed by a ton of food, and then tomorrow is legs. Squats, I think. Well, squats to be determined. Hamstring curls and leg extensions, those are a fucking guarantee. Those are some real staples of my leg training. But that'll be then, and now is now. So I'm gonna get home, eat some more, and then pass out. So I will freaking see you next time.